Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you're joining me this week. This Wednesday will be like every Wednesday where we blend the blissful with the Ashtanga practice. So it's not straight up Ashtanga. I will change it a little bit. But before we get going, I just want to say, if you've never read a Feng Shui book or gone to a Feng Shui workshop or had a discussion with a Feng Shui consultant, there is, something about energy that is behind that practice, just like energy is behind the yoga practice and the meditational practice. So in Feng Shui, they say, look around your home, look around your space, whether it's your office or your home environment or your garage or your car, the places that you more or less inhabit, to see what is the space around you? What is the energy that it's holding around you? Is there anything that you need to dispose of or get rid of? Is there too much clutter? Are there dust bunnies always going in one particular area of the house, or cobwebs always forming in one area of the house? For the point of cleaning it out, making sure that the energy is flowing well. And when I did a few Feng Shui workshops, there was one thing that they said, and it's always stuck with me. They said, don't hold on to things just in case. Because if you're holding on to things just in case one day you may need it, it's coming from a lack mentality. And it's not trusting yourself and trusting the divine that your needs are going to be met. So I want to bring that principle up because there's a lot happening still in our world. And there's a lot of talk about our resources being slimmed down. And the beauty of this planet is there is a mass amount of resources here. The problem is only a few control it. And unfortunately, those few people that control it tend to hold the power on whether or not it's distributed amongst the people. So there's this talk, right, of this economic collapse and, not getting enough fuel or inflation continuing to happen. And that can create fear. And so for 2 years now, I've been on this big kick of we can choose fear or we can choose love. So why I'm saying this is I don't want you to get caught up in those narratives. Don't get caught up in those headlines, because that's going to put you into fear and a lack mentality. Go inside, center yourself, drop into your heart, connect to the divine, and trust that your needs are going to be met. And if we stay in that space, which is a more loving space, the more people that are able to do that, then it goes into the collective consciousness. And we could potentially override what's being put out in the media. We have that possibility of changing it energetically if we create this union together. So that's all I want to say about that, because the end of this year is supposed to get really hairy if you're listening to astrology. So I want us to lie on our backs, and I know we start with Sun's house, but I want us to start with opening up the side body. So send your legs and feet over to the right corner of your mat, send your arms overhead, and swerve the upper body to the right corner of your mat. So this is called banana asana in the yin practice. And basically, we're just going to center ourselves here, staying grounded on our heels, sit bones and shoulder blades. Close and rest your eyes. And just feel that stretch running up through the left side body. Connect to the expansion of that left lung as you inhale. And feel that area soften on the exhale. So please breathe right now in a diaphragmatic way. The diaphragmatic breath can be helpful for the lymphatic system. It can be helpful for digestion. But more importantly, it can help us to de-stress. Let's take about 3 more breaths on this side. And then go ahead and walk your feet over to the left corner of the mat and then swerve the upper body over to the left as well. So we call it banana asana in the yin practice, but it's also making the shape of a crescent moon. And the crescent moon is an ancient symbol for consciousness. And so the consciousness that we're in will have an influence and an impact upon the collective consciousness. Soften your face and your jaw. And just breathe in that deep diaphragmatic way. Feeling up the right lung, and emptying it out. Got 3 more. Then inhale, slide back to center. And as you exhale, tuck your knees in towards your belly and chest, wrap your arms lovingly around. Holding here, Apanasana. And then roll over to the right side body, push down into your left palm. And now we'll get up and stand at the top of the mat and begin to warm up the body more. So Surya Namaskaras are going to help to heat the body and build that inner flame in the belly. So look down at your feet, line up your ankles, knees, and points. Bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. And then exhale, fold down to your Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins, lengthen out through the spine. And on the out breath, you're lowering, stepping back to plank, rocking forward, and dropping into that low push-up position. As you inhale, you're rising to the stilts of the arms, opening the throat, looking up. And as you exhale, you're rolling back over your toes, coming into downward facing dog. Press into your hands. Push back away from your wrist. And sail high up through your seat. Now, if you haven't activated the Ujjayi breath, where we constrict the back of the throat, this is a great breath to do for this practice. So as you inhale, now bring the feet to the top of the mat, lift halfway up to Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, close into self, releasing the arms and the head and the heart. Inhale, root down through your feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up overhead. Urdhvastasana, and exhale, hands come to the heart, Samasthiti. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, fold and hinge from your hips. The same sequential order. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, hands can stay on the floor or slide up your legs. Exhale, step it back. Build some upper body strength as you lower. Inhale, open up the heart, up dog. Exhale, use your core strength to roll back to down dog. Hold and breathe. Listen to that beautiful sound of your breath. It's the breath that can take us within. It's the breath that can take us back to the sanctuary of our hearts. It's the breath that can tap us into our soul and feel that connection to the divine. Inhale, bring the feet to the top of the mat, however you want to arrive. Lifting halfway up, creating some space. And then exhale, drape down, slim that space. Inhale, coming all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. And then exhale, Samasthiti. All right, we're gonna continue with a sun's house. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pour down. Open the back of the body. Inhale, sprout up, look out with your eyes. And then exhale, drop and hover, arms clipping into the side body. Inhale, slide through and up. And exhale, rock and roll back. We hold and breathe in down dog. In some practices, we encourage to close the eyes, but in Ashtanga, we usually say keep the eyes open. Setting your drishti at one place. Concentrate your eyes that way. It can actually lead us towards a meditation. On your next in-breath, let's come to the top of the mat. Come halfway up when you do. And then exhale, release and let go. Inhale all the way up to stand. Fingertips reaching towards the heavens above. And exhale, bringing hands home sweet home to the root. All right, we're doing one more A. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, drop closer towards the earth. Inhale, defy gravity and open the heart. Exhaling, curling the toes and rolling back. Deep here. About each breath being a way to fuel yourself, to fill your cup, so that you have something to give later. Inhale, you can meditationally walk, you can lunge, you can float the feet together to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold into regular Uttanasana. Inhale to Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, Samasthiti. All right, we get to move to B sun's out now. Bend the knees. Circle the arms up alongside your ears. Sit back with your hips. And exhale, fold and tip over straight legs. Inhale, sprout up. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. That's that low push-up. And you can always bend the knees and drop the upper body if you need a little assistance. Once you go through the Vinyasa, returning to down dog, right foot's going to step through between the hands. The back foot will lower, and then we're lifting to warrior one. Both feet planted, front thigh rolling open, back thigh rolling around, fingertips reaching, chin parallel to the earth, and look straight ahead with your eyes. Exhale, plant your hands. Step it back on your inhale, drop low on your exhale. Build up on your inhale, take it back on your exhale. Left foot now is going to step through between the hands. Give yourself a helping hand if need be. Plant the back foot with your time coming up. Virabhadrasana 1. Look at your front knee. Make sure it's pointed towards the smaller toes, not collapsing in. Build up through your side waist, through your floating ribs. Exhale, hands down. Take it back through the Vinyasa. And this is where if you get tired of these Vinyasas or you start to lose your steam, you can always just hold down dog or take child's pose. So please cater to yourself. Breathing here in the inversion. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, knees bent, arms lift. Exhale, hands to hearts. All right, we're doing 2 more of those today. Inhale, take Utkatasana chair. Exhale, fold straight over. Inhale, pick up halfway. Exhale, step it back and lower down. Continue through the Vinyasa, greeting the sun for the day. Then right foot will step through. Back heel plants down. Arms lift to frame the face. Palms face each other. Warrior 1. Feel as though you're pulling energy up from the earth. And you're also receiving blessings from the heavens. Hands down. Step it back. Drop it low. Rising up. And rock and roll down. Left foot will lead next. Warrior 1. Try to draw up to the pelvic floor, in and up through the navel, and notice how it kind of locks this area in. And then fold. And float. Pausing in the third down dog to reset and to reinvest in breath. Inhale, feet to the top of the mat. Lengthen out through the spine. Exhale, drop back into self. Inhale, knees will bend, arms will lift. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, we're doing 1 more V today. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Same sequence, inhale, pop up. Exhale, low push up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right foot steps through. Back to lowers. Arms lift. We were walking last night in the neighborhood after dinner. It was just me, Rob, and his daughter. She's 15, she's in high school, you know, taking the typical gym class. And she said, well, that's the only B I've got right now. We're like, how are we getting a B in wellness? And she said, well, I had to do all this assessment test. And I started wheezing. She's asthmatic. And she couldn't finish. And I'm like, seriously? That's your breath? Isn't that wild? It took points away. That's so weird to me. Bring the hands down. Take it back. So this is not a gym class. This is my point. This is yoga. Breath is everything. So if you find that you're losing awareness of your breath, if you ever get wheezy yourself, really child's pose is probably going to be the best thing for you. If the breath is awry, the mind will get scattered. We want the mind to clear out. Inhale, feet at the top of the mat, however you want to arrive. Open your heart center and look out. Exhale, drop back in. Inhale, bend knees, arms lift. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, so this one's how we're meant to heat us up. Separate your feet. Stack your hands to your waist, shoulders roll back, and you're gonna fold. When you fold, your first 2 fingers, what we call the peace mudra, is gonna wrap around the big toe. Then your thumbs are gonna push down into the toenail. Then your arms are gonna fan out to open up the pit of the arms and to open up the chest. Drive your head slightly lower. Maybe tuck your chin slightly towards your chest
is if you're trying to look towards your belly button. If that hurts your neck, leave it out. If this was a class of teenagers, I would not ask them to do that because they're all losing their neck hurt by texting so much. Inhale, lift halfway up. Look out with your eyes. Exhale, take your hands underneath your feet, even if you have to bend the knees, okay? And then bow back down. Instead of landing all your weight in your heels, shift your weight forward into the balls of the feet. Feel the pressure in your hands. It's for a counter position after all the weight-bearing exercises we've done. Padahastasana. Sometimes called gorilla. Now we're going to take the hands away from the feet, stack them back to the waist, and slowly come up. Once you come to stand, feet together. Now you guys can face this way so it doesn't confuse you as much. You guys can face this way, but we're gonna step sideways on the mat, feet nice and wide. And if you want to, you're probably fine following instruction, but I know she's pretty new. So if you could face them, and then you're not gonna be mirroring them, okay? So look down at your feet, separate your arms into what we call 5-point star. And I want you to make sure that your ankles line up underneath your wrists. And then turn your right foot 90 degrees. Again, you're not gonna be mirroring each other. Lengthen out over the right leg, you got it, and wiggle down to triangle pose. Now, if you find that you're kind of rounding your side body, stretch out through your waist, stretch out through your ribs. Beautiful. Look at your arm as being an extension of the heart. And think of your heart being where you hold your light, and the arm representing the beacon, so that you can be a beacon of light through any more changes we're going through. Inhale, use that top hand to rise. Lift your other arm, turn the right foot in, rotate the left foot out. Good, lengthen out over the left leg, windmill the hand down to the shin, ankle or floor, dependent upon your flexibility. Roll open through your belly and chest. From Trikonasana, use that top hand to gently rise. Lifting the left arm, and then exhale, relax the arms, turn the left foot in. Turn your right foot out. Now you're going to step your left foot over, turn the toes in at more at an angle. Take your left arm skyward, and you can follow Cindy's lead. She's in the pink next to the door going to the bathrooms. When you're ready, bring that left hand down to a block, to your leg, to the ground, whatever is accessible. Rotate to the right and shine the right hand up in the air. Exhale, lower the right hand. Slowly lift both hands, come up. Take your time. Pivot the feet the opposite way. We're going into the same pose, second side. Once you offset the right foot, left hand on the waist, right arm up. Exhale, lean out over the front leg. Find where you want to settle the hand. And then crank that twist to your left. And make sure that you don't crank so hard that you block your breath. Keep the breath open. Even if that means coming out of the pose entirely. When you're ready, float your hands up. All right. Now look down at your feet. We were offsetting the feet in that last pose. You want to line them up on the straight plane again. Lift your arms, check that alignment. So separate your feet just a little bit wider. Yeah. Rotate your right foot. Lunge that knee, prop onto it with your arm, and you can sail the left arm straight up or across your ear, depending on how much of a side bend you actually want. Really roll down to the outer edge of your back foot Lock in your back thigh, but not the knee. Inhale, come up. Turn your right foot in, left foot out. Float the arms up. Lunge the left knee. Stack onto it. And determine where you want the right arm to be. Keep that left hip rolling open. Your breath staying super full. Good, inhale coming up. Turn that left foot, rotate your right foot. You're gonna elevate your left heel, take the left elbow to the opposite side of the right knee, stacking your palms to prayer position for revolving side angle. We generally say for about 5 breaths. I know lung capacity is different from person to person. Let's go ahead and unwind from the twist, plant the back foot, safely come up, turn the right foot in, left foot out, spin onto the ball of the back foot, and then spin from the belly and take your spinal twist. You need to rinse out of your system. Exhale, unwind. All right, when you turn your feet, you can take your hands to the floor. Your feet over to Prasarita Padottanasana, which is a wide stance forward fold. Now, I think I get our weeks mixed up, but I'm pretty certain we did all 4 of these last week. So we're just doing 1 of these this week. Feel free to take A, B, C, or D, your favorite. I'm just hanging out in A. All right, pressurize the feet. Stack your hands to your waist. Slowly start to come up. All right, when you come up, turn your left foot to the top of the mat, and you're going to step to the front. We're going to do pyramid differently today. My feet were starting to cramp, and I needed to come out of that wide stance. I don't know if you were feeling it.
Not there.
We're going to take the left foot back, and we're going to make sure the hips are square. Okay, we're going to see if it's possible to bring the hands to namaste behind the back. If it's not, cross your arms. Okay, so pick one of those. And then explode open through the chest. So create that back bend. Keep your elbows wide open. And then exhale, start to hinge and fold. And gaze towards your right foot. This is sometimes also called intense side stretch pose. So if you tuck your right hip in, like you're trying to pull your right hip in towards your navel, you're going to feel that more. Inhale, rise. If your hands are in reverse namaste, stay there. Step up, step back with your right foot. If your arms are crossed, you're going to cross the opposite way now before you enter the next pose. Open up the heart and fold out over the front leg. Gazing towards the foot once you come down. Squeezing that left hip in. Inhale, slowly coming up. Release your arms, step the back foot forward. Because we're 3 days out of the full moon, I am personally going to modify Padangusthasana today. If you want to amp it up, straighten your leg, feel free. Left hand to the hip. Stack and stand strong on the left side. And then catch your right knee. Find some place to look at. And open to be. Then we're gonna stack the foot to the inner thigh to tree. Feel free to lift branches. And release. All right, we're going to the second side. Stack and stand on the right leg. Right hand to the hip. Oh, I can't fix that one. Left knee lifts. Foot flexes. Open to be. And then prepare for tree. Coming back to the top of your mat and just changing the top of the mat. Inhale, taking chair with Katasana. And you can be here or you can be here. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pop up halfway. We're gonna bring it down to 4 exercises, but we're going through Vinyasa first. Step back to plank. Drop down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Hopefully your body's feeling a little bit more pliable now. Go ahead and come down to your knees. Shift your feet to one side, lower to one hip, and then send the legs out in front. Flex the ankles. Lift your arms up. As you exhale, hold forward. If you can take the peace mudra around each big toe, do that. If you can't reach the feet, don't worry about it. Just let your hands be anywhere. But instead of rounding the back like this, I want you to think about flying your belly button towards your thighs and flying your heart out over your knees. Yes, that's great. All right, inhale, lift up. Exhale, we're going in. This time the hands are gonna wrap around the outer edges of the feet with your thumbs at the base of the big toe. And again, instead of rounding it out, see if you can explore hugging the belly in and loosening out. Inhale, arms up. Okay, you can do either that first one or a second one, or hands anywhere. Or you can try now lacing your hands together around the soles of the feet. If that's too much, again, leave it out. Don't force anything. Your body will eventually open. And it may not be open to every fancy pose. But forward folds are about that aspect of surrendering, releasing, and letting go. All right, we're gonna take the hands and slide back behind our seats. We're gonna bend the knees. And we're gonna push into the feet to lift off the ground to reverse tabletop or altar pose. Think about creating more of a flat surface. It's not gonna be perfect, but just try your best. And then exhale, lower your seat. All right, slide your legs out. Point your toes, keep your hands behind you. Shoulders roll back, feel your chest already open, and then tuck and lift reverse plank. Exhale, release back down. Awesome. All right, come to sit upright, kind of shimmy your sits bones back, bend your right knee, and then open out from the hip for Jani Shirshasana. All right, lift the arms up. I think last week we worked on C, the crazy foot action. We're just gonna do A today. Fold down. When I first started yoga, this was like my favorite.
It's my favorite.
Is this one of your favorites? Do you guys know Jane House?
Yes.
The teacher in Nashville?
Yes,
She's
when I
amazing,
first
isn't she?
started at Yoga Country.
You have no idea how much I tried to convince her to be a part of Half Moon. I love her, but she has this beautiful picture. So feet aren't the prettiest part of the body, right? She has this beautiful picture being in this pose where the camera is like really angled at her foot, but then you see her, face coming into this pose. It's so pretty. You wouldn't think it would be pretty, but it's so pretty. All right, inhale, come up. All right, scoop up underneath the right foot. Now this is important as a beginner. See how you're trying to grab here? Swap that hand position under. Yeah, this is better. Okay, same thing, Mary Beth. Instead of having the hand over, take the hand under. Your right hand under.
Oh,
Yes, both hands under. And then that gives you more of an anatomical opening for the knee, for the hip, to see if it's possible to bring it to half lotus. And if it's not, does that hurt? It's just doesn't hurt. It can stay there, but if it starts to hurt, slip it back down where it was, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that right arm behind the back. Don't worry if you find the foot or not. I'm not even gonna go for the foot today. Right arm throw behind the back, left arm's gonna reach overhead. And then exhale, fold. When you come down, you're gonna sense there's more, flexion happening with the knee. So again, if that's aggravating, put the foot back to the sticky mat instead. It's interesting, they've done scientific studies and people from the East actually have more flexible joints than people from the Western hemisphere. So that is something to consider, right? And then inhale coming up. And then exhale, release that arm. All right, send the right leg out. Bend the left knee in, and then turn it from the hip. All right, arms reach up. Exhale, Jani Shirshasana, head of the knee pose. Smooth, rhythmic breaths. Inhale, coming up. Scoop underneath the left foot. So both hands going underneath, yeah. And then see if it can shift over to the right hip crease. Again, if it's too much aggravating, hurts, it's not worth it. You can still thread your left arm behind your back no matter what. Reach the right arm overhead. Exhale, forward fold. And just remember there are times where we are forced to adapt our practice. Like, Mary Beth had a frozen shoulder for a little while. And that usually happens with white women between 40 and 60 at some point. Your practice will have to change until it heals. When I had all the change in 2020, I had a major SI joint issue. I couldn't even fold forward. I had to change my practice, but then I healed and I got it back. I know you've had something happen recently, didn't you? It wasn't you. Oh, you know what? It was you again. It was when we were at the hot room. Neither one of us could fold forward for a while.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I had to put stuff under my knees.
Yeah. And you know, it made sense because there was so much impacting us and stress shows up in the body. Inhale, come up. And exhale, release. Yeah, go ahead and slip that left foot out in front of you. Roll the ankles. And then you're gonna slide your feet together. Lift up energetically through the top of the head, and then you're gonna fold over your lap. So I wanted you to try something. If you slide your feet more forward and fold, is it the same or is it better?
It's better.
I think, so I
I'm
heard
so
this.
tight. I'm so tight.
Well, I don't think it's just because you're tight. You're taller, and taller people, when they have longer finger bones, it can go into the hip differently.
Mhm.
So it could be partly that. So
Yeah.
if that feels better, just slide your feet more forward. That's a little trick for that, if that's the case. I don't know if that's the
No,
case.
that's good.
It looks better.
Yeah.
And then inhale, slowly come up and slide your legs out. Now, when I first started yoga, I'm looking at you because I know you're pretty new. I hated this pose. Now I love it.
I still don't like it.
You still don't like it?
I have to have my feet on the mat. It just
Hurt your
holds
butt.
my, yeah.
Yeah, and see what I do, I don't cut my yoga pants. I get the longer ones on purpose so that I can do that.
Yeah.
It's another way to do it besides the mat, or you can use a blanket.
Yeah.
But just go ahead and gently fold. So when I first started, I couldn't go very far at all. It just hurt. Yeah. Oh, running, yeah.
Oh, you run, yeah, it's messy. Well, it's tight, you just gotta, that's why I work out a lot too, and you just have to counterbalance with this, even though there's a little pain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is the wide ankle pose. We'll gently come up. All right, slide your feet in. Lace. I think you can go on the floor now.
Yeah.
You could probably do it on a block, but it might get a little bouncy with this one. So if you take that piece mover around the big toes and lift your feet, so think about this. This is like a sitting form of happy baby pose. But we're gonna try to take it into Upavista Konasana, which is the same position we were in, except the feet are in the air. This is called Upavista Konasana. Sometimes we roll back, but we're not rolling back today. Good, one more deep breath, jut up through your chest. Good, on your exhale, lean back and see if it's possible to draw the feet together. You're leaning back with your torso, but pulling the feet together.
Ooh, yeah. I'll feel that later.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's any inspiration to you, it's always inspiring to me. There's a lady, Jan Campbell, who teaches, well, I don't know if she still teaches. She was in her 80s before the pandemic. So I don't even know if she's still teaching. But she can do that pose and she can bring the legs all the way to her face. It's like crazy. All right, we're gonna pour down to our backs. Oh, Mary Catherine, you can scoot up more. I'm gonna tell you that, because we're gonna be flipping over.
Okay.
We're gonna take Halasana. I just didn't want you to hit the wall. I've done that before, where I wasn't thinking about what was behind me. So keep your head perfectly still. And instead of rolling back, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna, okay? Yeah, just do that. All right, if you're in Halasana, take your hands out to stack to your back and see if you can point your toes and pike the legs up. Shoulders down. Sarvadasana. Breathe. And then bend the knees, see if you can breathe into the brow. Ardha Kondasana. When you're ready, slowly roll out. When you roll out, your hands are gonna stack underneath your thighs, underneath your seat. Point your toes, root through the elbows, jut up through your heart center, and open your throat wide, and barely rest on the top of it. Can I touch you? Yeah. Okay. You see, I press there. Yeah. Beautiful. Good. All right, when you're ready, lift your head. Softly release down to the mat. Tuck your knees into your chest. Roll over to one side. And come on. So Monday it was, we worked on a moon salutation. We hadn't done a moon salutation in my classes in a while. And we did 2 different headstands at 2 different points in the practice. And we worked more on Shastasana 2, more of the tripod stand, which is actually harder because there's more weight on your head. So I want you to watch Cindy. She's already going for it. So look how she's measuring her arms. Look how her elbows are stacked under her shoulders. She puts her head down, she walks her feet in, she bounces up to the wall. If you want to use the wall, you can use the wall. You don't trust yourself or you don't feel like you've got the strength or the body awareness to do that yet. I want you to join me over here.
This is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it looks intimidating. Yeah, but it's not. Once you, so basically what you do is you hold the handlebars, put your head in the hole, walk it all the way back, and lift. And you can lean against the wall or not. That there's no weight on the head. There's no need to worry about issues with your neck, and you're getting the full inversion. So who does headstand?
I don't, but I didn't tell you, I went to the ortho. Like,
Yeah,
is
for
it
your
the
tennis
elbow.
elbow?
Yeah, it's not tennis elbow. It was an inflammation of the first electronic canal bursa thing that basically needed support. And it was
Yeah.
all the crap that I didn't do.
Yes,
this.
yes.
I never done it.
You haven't done it? Oh, awesome. Okay, so hold the handlebars. So she's never done it. Okay, keep your knees off the floor. Just bend your knees, okay? Stick your head in the hole. But take your shoulders all the way back. So once you put your head in, your shoulders come all the way back. No, you stay on that side of the bar. You just bend your knees. Bend, 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 drop, drop, drop. And then, yeah, just come on down. You can trust it.
I have fear issues.
Well-
Oh, there we go.
Oh, wait, don't walk yet,
I
because
got
you need the support back here. So keep coming back.
Look at you, Cindy.
Keep coming back. You want the padding here, so you shouldn't put my hand.
I'm just too scared.
Wait. But this
I
you're getting
just
to,
finished.
it's like you must.
I haven't.
You gotta try it, it really is. good.
So what you're not getting is where to put the head. So let me show you really quick. Because I don't want you to go up without that support.
No.
So your head goes all the way back. Your shoulders are completely supported. And then that way, it's like super easy. I go in here. That's it. Yes, now you get, yes, you kind of scoot the shoulder back. Great.
Oh, I don't want to do it.
Here, did you say I don't want to do it? I'll help you. Ready? Bounce up. So use your hands, push down through your hands, and it'll help you activate your core.
Okay, point your toes. And you can lean against the wall.
No, I don't wanna do it. I think I have still, some frozen shoulder and fear.
Did you, yes.
But I got the feeling.
You got the feeling.
Yeah, but it looks so easy.
It's just a fear factor. Fear is always going to be a psychological block for what you're capable of doing physically in your body. And once you're able to trust this, and trust yourself and trust your shoulder, because your shoulder's still feeling, yeah, it'll get easier.
Yeah.
It starts.
Like,
Like, have you ever seen?
my mom wouldn't let me do a somersault.
Oh, did you hear that?
Headstand. Nope.
So some of it, okay,
Cartwheels.
so in yoga, I don't know if you guys can hear this. But she's healing from her shoulder. She was trying to use the yoga lift and it scared her a little bit. And fear is a factor. But then she also said when you were younger, her mother wouldn't let her do somersaults
Somersaults or headstands, like
or
I did,
headstands or
like
anything.
10 years old, 11, I go, oh, I'm gonna go to headstand. No, you go
That's
right
part
through
of
it.
your
You're gonna
block,
break it.
because that is one of your earliest memories.
Yes.
So I'm a therapist and the therapist in me is like, whoa, that's awesome.
It's good that she even recognizes it, because
Yeah.
so often we don't think about the root cause of where that fear is coming from, right? We thought it was your shoulder, but then when you did a little bit more investigative work, it's like, actually it was my mom, like
Yeah, it's, I
years
mean,
ago.
that's why I've never really gone out to the headstand unless I'm spotted. That was a few years ago and I still didn't like doing it.
And you know, what I want you to hear me say, yoga is not a headstand, or a handstand, or a shoulder stand. Yoga is a state of being. And if you never want to go into headstand, you're still a yogi. You're still doing the practice. That's,
And I'm
that
good with that
wasn't,
at this
that wasn't
point
even
in
in the
so many
beginning stages of
years.
yoga. That wasn't even the intention of yoga. That came about much, much later. And it was just sprinkled in. Hey, do this. And there's benefit to it, but you never have to do it if you don't want to do it. And that's okay.
But I need to get rid of it.
Do you want to try it? No? Okay, so it's okay if you don't want to try it today. Thank you for being brave and giving it a go. Do you want to go for it?
I'll go for it.
Do you need help?
Probably.
Okay, I'm gonna help Christy real quick. And then we'll get into relaxation. So,
But I never wanted to.
And then bring it to got it. Now push, if you squeeze your elbows in and push down through your hands, you're gonna ignite your core. Yes, see, did you feel that?
Yep.
And that helps you get the legs up.
It does, you can do it.
Yeah.
I think it's really, you really have to use your hands. Think about the instruction, when you rise, when you're pushing through your hands, your belly engages. It's a good core deal.
Yeah, you can do it.
I believe you.
Yeah. You can try after.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna do it.
Cause I'm super chicken about the.
My mom
I
was the same
won't do
way, like
the
everything was
headstand.
like, put your eyeball like.
So, since we're talking about this, and I think it's an important piece, and you'll appreciate this as a therapist, there is yogic philosophy that backs up this practice. And if you ever study that philosophy, it says, always go to the root cause of the suffering. Not that that's suffering necessarily, but fear falls into that category. What is the root cause of that? And keep digging and digging and digging until you find the root cause. And then you know what you're really working with. Because there's layers. We're very complex beings.
And my layers, I didn't realize till later in life, that my parents like had a stillborn before I was born.
So they were extra.
My mom was a worrier
protective.
anyway, so she worried and worried. It was don't let her die, don't let her die. And I have such a fear now, and I've gotten better over time. Even my doctor believes this. Yeah, genetic. I mean, you were in the womb, and it was I can't die, I can't die, I can't die. And I worry that's my big issue, worrying about health issues, whether it's breaking my neck.
Think
or-
about this. This is yoga, you guys. I'm sorry we're talking right now, but I'm not sorry because this is all yoga. Think about consciousness. Think about for 9 months you being in the womb of your mother. You were taking on all her experiences, you were hearing her voice, you were taking in the same stuff she was. You had a state of consciousness, she had a state of consciousness, and because you're living inside of her consciousness, you have no option but to be impacted by her state of mind at that point.
Yeah.
And so think about a lot of issues for humans is it called gestation time? Is that the right word? You're just being in the womb. Like, there's a lot going on even within those 9 months.
And that's been proven. That's what my doctor says. This is not, it's true. And the fact that, and she didn't belabor this point through childhood, but, when I heard a few times when I was younger too, is she dead? Is the first thing she said.
Yeah.
So, first thing I hear practically when I'm born is she dead? And then all that worry. And she didn't mean it. I mean, she was scared to death and she had the same problems with me as she did with the stillborn, but she refused to take the drug that was being used at that time, which has created terrible side effects.
Yeah.
She said, I'd rather lose her now than go through and have a stillborn. So she's having some of those same effects.
Right.
She was a trooper as I got older, more. But she just didn't.
It's a real thing, and think about all the unplanned pregnancies where maybe the mothers through that time period were stressed or worried or not wanting this child. And that's why a lot of people, I think, are walking around feeling unwanted and lost and confused. And, it's because of that time period. I had an unplanned pregnancy, but I wanted to have a child. So even though it was unplanned, I celebrated from the moment I discovered it. And I was just thrilled to be having this baby. And so he came out very content, luckily. But I was that way. My parents didn't want another child. I was an oopsie. And so I know, that when that feeling comes inside of me, like I'm unloved or unwanted, it's like it goes all the way back to that moment of conception. Anyway, let's relax.
I can end on a positive note. At least I came out basically really happy most of my life because my dad was super positive and super happy person. So it's like I have both.
Well, the good thing is we have therapists, that can help us to work through these things. And we have these kind of practices like yoga and mindfulness and meditation and acupuncture and all these things that can help us to dive in energetically and to get more tapped in to be able to discover what is that? If you had been doing yoga all these years, I don't know if you would necessarily be able to pinpoint, oh, it was that.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and roll down to our backs. And I want you to set up your body in such a way that it's going to be comfortable for the next few minutes. So if your back's not comfortable with your legs straight, bend the knees. If you feel like you really need a hip opener, then bring the soles of the feet together. I'm going to change out the music. And as I'm changing out the music, I want you to gaze in and up into your mind's eye as if you were looking towards a movie screen in a dark theater before it was turned on. And then I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that you're seeing the world differently than it is today. So imagine you're putting on a different set of lens and you're seeing that the world is fair and just. There's equality and abundance for all. Imagine a peaceful world. Imagine humanity's heart being healed. And then from gaining that image, turn back in with your breath. And either stay with that image, imagining it with all of your senses, magnifying it with your attention, with your intention,
of being a space holder, a way shower, a light worker. If this image is difficult for you, then I would rather you focus on the mantra playing in the backdrop. It's Om, the universal sound or vibration. And you can just listen and recite Om internally. Allowing one of those to be your point of focus and technique for today. On your inhale, slide your feet closer, stretch your arms overhead. As you exhale, hug your knees into your belly and chest. Roll to one side of your body. And gently come up to take a seat. Took this over, sorry. That was the one probably from the next up. And start. can all remember from this practice the importance of turning within, the importance of tapping into our heart and using the power of breath. And we walk away feeling more harmonious within. That we feed positivity into the collective consciousness to build a better, brighter world. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.